Well, guys, we have had talks, in terms of Tarapana, coach Rulani Mokwena. And as I've said before, that I did speak with, some of my trusted sources, and then they confirmed that yes, there is interest from Kaizer Chiefs when it comes to coach Rulani Mokwena. But now Coach Rulani Mokwena himself has spoken in terms of whether is there any talks or conversation that is going on between him and Kaizer Chiefs, which obviously we're going to be looking at on today's video. Sizenje Utiena Utini from the horse's mouth, even though we know he will not be able to say if there were talks that were going on. So, before we get there, actually, I would like us to quickly start with Indabaga Brendan Peterson, because previously we've seen a video, even though people are saying no, this video is old. It might have been old, where fans were out there protesting. I thought it was National at first, but then when I looked closely, I see that this doesn't look anything like National. So on the Nedbank Cup, not just the Nedbank Cup, but Nedbank Cup match or press conference, I mean to say, Brendan Peterson was asked in terms of, the squad that we currently have and the players. As the captain, do you feel like the players that we do have now, we can be able to finish the season with them, not just making a bit of adjustment or a bit of changes? And this Bogele Kaya is what Brendan Peterson had to say in terms of that.
I think for me, as far as the season is going, we've done well with what we've had, and I don't see us having problems going forward with the same players that we had in the first round. We've done well, we've defended well. The only thing I think for me was obviously the converting our chances. We've done a lot of work on that over the break now. So hopefully, now coming into the fixture on Tuesday, we can obviously start with a couple of goals and we can take it from there and get the ball rolling.
Well, those are the words actually of for Brendan Peterson, and I might say he's right, except for one crucial area where we feel like it's somewhere where we need to at least adjust or bring someone. Don't get me wrong, guys. We do have good attacking midfielders. You look at Mduduzi Shabalala, has 2 assists or 3 assists this season. Managed to score at least 2 goals, if I'm not mistaken. You look at Gaston Serino, I think maybe he has scored 1 goal, and also he has about 2 assists, which is not bad. It's not bad, but to be honest, it could be more, could be better, and that's what we're hoping for. Especially when you're an attacking midfielder, it's either you contribute with goals or assists. Now, I've heard people, some of you here in the comment section, to know could be having the services of Faisal Salom would be a great addition to the squad. Well, me too, I do think so. But now with things how they happened, Faisal Salom Magangeza, who is he going to be coached by? Because the people or the person that wanted Faisal Salom, very much so, someone actually who wanted his own squad, which I feel like it's one of the reasons why they decided to let him go, because Begafuna Lokena Funayo, he was demanding what he wanted, and they felt like it's not going to be possible because we can't be able to give you what you want, so you can just leave. So yeah, Faisal Salom was wanted mostly by coach Nabi, and ever since Nabi is no longer part of the team, I don't think they will ever even have interest from Kaizer Chiefs saying no, they want to sign this guy, because to them, it doesn't look like he's a player who can add anything of significant value to the team. But anyways, I don't know. It's just my opinion on how I think they want to do business. But then, moving on to Darapana, coach Rulani Mokwena, which, as I've said before, remember when I told you there are links, and then that source that I said I used to trust a lot, but now I do not trust that much, did say, definitely there are talks, but Coach Rulani Mokwena wanted confirmation or affirmation of that nothing wrong is going to happen, sort of like what happened to coach Nabi. But now, speaking from Andile actually on the radio about him being linked to the Glamour Boys, even though he might not be honest about this conversation. He might say no, no, no. He might say ayikho yonke leyo nto, but at the end of the day, we do know uthi when a coach wants to go somewhere or is needed somewhere, anything can happen. You understand? I remember when we were linked with Coach Nabi while he was still working somewhere else, and then he denied. He said, no, definitely there's nothing going on. But there was actually something going on. The journalists are not here just fabricating stories, guys. We're not just here to talk about things that are not there. So with Ndabaga Rulani Mokwena, guys, I believe there is something, there is interest, but I'm not too sure in terms of my negotiations whether Kaizer just did approach Rulani for his services. But I do know back at home, Lapena Shorena, he is there on the list of the coaches that they are looking to sign. So this is what Coach Rulani Mokwena said. He says, no, no, no. I'm very happy here. I've got a contract here, and I'm very, very happy here. No, in fact, the conversations I'm having are with MC Alger for a new contract and to extend my stay here. These are the only conversations that are taking place. Now, I'm sorry, guys, I do not have the clip. You know, I love bringing you the clips so that you can listen for yourself. But right now, I do not have the clip, and I'm racing against time. So Nyamuzo Coach Rulani Mokwena. I'm a bit disappointed that Kaizer have not offered anything to the table, or they have not yet held talks with his agent or even the club, MC Alger themselves. But one thing I do know is anything is possible, guys. We might say no, it's not gonna happen I'm still gonna say the same thing that I said before, with an example of Coach Nabi. Not to say because he was wanted long time before, because Kaizer just wanted Nabi, and then we could not sign him because he said he wants to come. Which I still say this is why they let go of Nabi. It's because he always wants something, and the club is failing to provide. He said he would want to come with his own technical team, and they said, no, we can't do that. You will have the technical team that is there already, and we can't fire them because it would be expensive for us. So please do come alone, and we will give you what is already there. And Coach Nabi said, no, if that is not the case, I'm not coming. And I like this coach, not just because of that, but also because he does know when to stand for his ground. He's not someone you can just bully into doing what you want. He stands on his ground, which is something that I will always admire about Coach Nabi. So, as I've said, they couldn't sign him. And then fast forward later on, they did manage to sign him. Nakona signing him, they signed him while he was still contracted to a club, which was what was this team? Morocco. In the team yes, Morocco, I meant to say, what was this team? AS FAR Rabat. When we signed him, he was still under contract. Kaizer just managed to buy him out of that contract and say, okay, we will settle, the contract. We put a contract termination, which shows you Kaizer Chiefs, when they are willing to do it, they are capable. It's not like it's something too big for them to be able to do. When they are willing to do it, so they did that, and also they allowed him to bring his own technical team, which we saw goalkeeper coach, we saw strength and conditioning coach, we saw assistant coach, and also a second assistant coach, which was something big, because we are used to a coach having just one assistant, but two assistant coaches done by Kaizer Chiefs in a single transfer. That was shocking and amazing. So, as I'm saying again, wait to Coach Rulani Mokwena, guys. It might still be in a contract with AMC Alger unless he does sign a contract extension, because he's looking to extend because of how happy he is. Currently, he's sitting at number 1 with a 10-point on the lock. which is very, very good. The team that is number 2, I think it's CRB, if I'm not mistaken, which they currently are banned from signing new players because apparently, get this, they could not pay the installment of Ukanyisa Mayo. So this is why FIFA stepped in and then they decided to ban them from ever signing new players until this whole situation is solved. So I understand now why they wanted Ukanyisa Mayo to come to Kaizer Chiefs with an obligation to sign the player, not just to say no, we are just loaning you out until isilungise inkinga zethu zibe right. No, you guys siyamlona, silungise inkinga, and then you keep the player. That's it, because they do not want to remain with this problem. They want to fix the issue as quickly as possible. So I didn't know, but now I know. It has been revealed. So as I'm saying, Coach Rulani Mokwena, guys, he says there haven't been communications when it comes to that. But what we do know is anything is possible. Kaizer just when they're willing to sign you, they can do whatever that they must do in order to get you. So yeah, I think this is it, Bafetu. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if ever this is your first time seeing Football Trends with QP. I will be here with something new. I promise. Just in general, call for Peace.